Hi everybody, Alex Multiplier from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the upcoming upgrade of the moving average multiplier EA. Now, almost a month ago I published this particular video and it was incredibly popular, over 20,000 views in just over a month, and it talked about a EA that traded $1,000 to $12 million. There's a lot of interest in this EA. We made the EA available for testing for a whole week to our existing clients. After a week of testing, we launched the moving average multiplier EA, and that has been approximately 10 days ago. We've received amazing feedback on this particular EA over that period, and it would have been great to have received that feedback during the test period that we made the EA available. Anyway, as a result of this feedback, we have made even better improvements to this EA. So let's have a look at what has happened to this EA. So clearly this EA had extremely high income potential. Being able to take $1,000 to over $10 million shows that it had incredible potential. The problem is the EA is a trending EA and needed very, very strong trends to enable it to do these fantastic returns. Now, these returns were made in the crazy times when the coronavirus first started and the market went to extreme volatility. Users of the EA find that in the existing conditions, which are almost consolidating positions, that the EA is not performing as they would like it. It opens too many trades and no account level stops and targets are included. So that's what we've gone and done. We've also created an ability to trade sideways markets, and I'm going to give you more detail about that. So let's look at the upgrade changes. Firstly, the easy ones. We've introduced account level stops and targets, and I'll go through the settings in detail so that you know what I'm talking about. Also, we've introduced reverse direction trading, and the reason for that is that all of our EAs have got that setting and we just left it out of this particular one. Now the big change is we've introduced phased trading, and that is based on the Bollinger Band, and you'll see why we are using the Bollinger Band in this particular case. So what that does is it enables us to split the EA into two, for it to have a trending strategy and a sideways strategy. That means it can actually make profits in a sideways market and it can make profits in a trending market. Fantastic change, and I'm going to spend quite a bit of time explaining how that one works. And then the pruning section we've just refined by splitting the buy and sell options in the pruning side. You can now set different maximum open trades for buy transactions and sell transactions, and you can even tell which pruning method you want to use for buy transactions and sell transactions. That's just a minor refinement. The biggest refinement is the phase trading. On your screen you can see the Bollinger Band on a typical Forex chart. And what makes this indicator so fantastic is that it narrows down in a sideways market and it expands tremendously. The bands themselves expand tremendously in a trend. So it consists of an upper band and a lower band, and in the middle is a moving average that it revolves around. So this makes it a fantastic tool to tell us when the market is going sideways and when it is trending. When the bands are a long way away from each other, it is obviously trending, and when they are pinching narrowly together, then it is a sideways market. And as you can see on the screen, and I'll just take you through it, you can see when the bands start diverging, and so the one goes up and the other one goes down, that's the start of a trend. And up it goes, and then it starts going sideways, and then look how it narrows down. Now, so now we have a trend strategy. So when the Bollinger Band's doing that, you can trade a trend, and when it's narrowing down, you can trade another strategy. And I'll explain how the strategies differ. So again, here it's diverging, it's going up and down, and the start of a trend, great trend, right all the way up there. Consolidate, then it comes down and starts consolidating, and the bands start going very tight, and again you get the sideways Bollinger Band here. Little trend there, you can see there's a small burst out, then little one, and here's the big one, really strong divergence, that way up and that way up, and down she goes and recovers just like the previous one, and then it starts consolidating again. The bands go slower, tighter and tighter, and so on. So the next trend develops when they diverge, and so on. So how we apply this to the moving average multiplier is that we have a trend, with a trend strategy going here, and when it goes sideways, we literally trade the opposite strategy. So when the moving averages are telling us to buy, we actually sell. And when they tell us to sell, we actually buy when it is in a consolidating phase. And when it's not in a consolidating phase, our moving averages will put us into very powerful trends. And as you can see, the moving average is very sharply down there and goes up in this particular trend. So really fantastic tool and filter that we've added. So we're still using our moving averages, but we've added the Bollinger Band. And here you can actually see trades made by the moving average multiplier, the new moving average multiplier with the Bollinger Band included. So what happens, you can see here in this little area where my cursor is, the moving average is actually going down, but it's taking buy signals because it's in a narrow range. And luckily it did, because the trend started and all those buys turned positive in that particular trend. Then the trend started slowing down. But remember, this is still a long distance. The width of a Bollinger Band, when people look at a historical chart, they try and look at this distance. Obviously that is in the future, so you should actually only look at the slice, and that is actually very widely apart. And then it takes sell trades with the trend. Look at that, it stops trading because we tell it to only trade certain hours of the day. And then all of those get cashed in, and then it starts trading again, and most of those got cash in too. And then it starts consolidating again. And look here, there the moving average is going down, but it's entering buy signals, and there it's going up, and it's entering sell signals. So sell entries. So that is how the two strategies work. And then luckily, this one actually went down. All those sells got cashed in, those buys got cashed in at a loss, and then you have a full-on trend strategy operating from then on, because the Bollinger Bands have expanded out over there. There's the expansion, and you start selling again. And then you come to the same situation again. In spite of the moving averages going down, a whole lot of buys get entered. So we've catered for the trending market, and we have catered for the sideways market, and it seems to be working pretty well in the testing that we're doing. So now I'm going to take you through the settings, and I apologize for all this detail in the video, but owners of the EA would be most interested in going through these particular settings. So I'm going to take you through them one by one, the improved settings. So there are our account level stops. So we have a closeout when a certain profit level is reached, and a closeout when a maximum loss level is met, and that's equity losses. And then it asks, what do you want to do after the closeout? Do you want to continue trading or not? So that's the three new settings in respect of account management. Then the moving averages stay the same, and then we've introduced the Bollinger Band, which has its traditional settings such as the band period deviation, the price that it gets applied to. And then here is a drop down. Now you need to watch this drop down very carefully. I'll just flip to the next slide, show you what that is all about. The account drop down is stop trading after closeout or continue. So that was one of the drop downs. But the one I'm talking about now is it gives you 4 options. It says, do you want to trade the trend method and the bounce method? So there's the first one, using the Bollinger Band. Or do you only want to trade the trend method? So in other words, you don't even trade in the sideways market. It will not trade in the sideways market. Or do you only want to trade in the sideways market? So it gives you those 3 choices. Or do you just want to use the trend MA? In other words, ignore the Bollinger Band as a filter and trade the EA as it used to be traded before the upgrade. So you can actually trade the EA as it used to be traded before the upgrade and ignore the Bollinger Band if you wish. So that's the drop down for the Bollinger Band. Okay, so let's go back. So I'm quite excited about that because now we have an EA that is a sideways EA and a trending EA. We've also added the direction of trade. So if you want to, and now I know this might be confusing for some, but you can actually change the direction at any time using on any strategy that you want to use. So if the strategy that you use normally says when you get these signals buy, by clicking that button, it will automatically just sell. Okay, so let's have a look what else was added. And then we have, as I say, the pruning function has been split into a buy leg and a sell leg. And there is a drop down for that. And I'll just go to the next slide to show you that. So there's the pruning method. You can either not prune, so ignore pruning altogether, or you can close the most profitable trade, or you can close the least profitable trade. So they are the pruning methods, and as I said, you can use them independently on sells and buys. Okay, now here comes the really interesting part. You can vary the stops, the targets, and the trailing stops of the trending method and of the sideways methods. And why have we done that? Because the sideways method is in a narrow, tight market, so you want small stops and small targets. And when the market is trending, you want big targets because you're in a trending market. You want to make a lot of money. So you can use 2 strategies, and here we are. There are the trend settings. You can set the stop and the target there and the trailing stop there. Then if we continue, there are the bounce methods. So as I say, ideally you want to have a smaller stop and a smaller target, and it gives you the opportunity of having trailing stops there too. So really fantastic. We've actually split the EA into 2 EAs, and you can either trade the one or the other, or both together. And then the rest of the settings have stayed exactly the same. Now we're in our final phases of testing this EA, and we will be releasing the upgrade in the course of the next 2 to 3 days. But certainly what has resulted here is much smoother equity curves, fewer drawdowns, a better success rate, and better returns on risks. In other words, your winning trades are much bigger in dollar value than your losing trades. A very important aspect there. What we've introduced too is the ability to make money and reduce risk with smaller number of open trades. We're encouraging traders to use up to 10 open trades or something on those lines. We're also encouraging traders to use smaller stops and smaller targets, as I mentioned previously, especially in the sideways markets. And you can now use this EA with smaller accounts because you've got fewer open trades, you've got smaller stops and targets, there'll be fewer open deals. Now, I hope you are as excited about these changes as I am. You can see that these changes dramatically change the ability for a trader to manage this particular EA and turn it into a sideways and a trending EA. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or remarks, please use the forum or list them in the comment facility below. Any links related to this particular video and to the moving average multiplier EA will be included in the description of the video as well as in the first comment of the video. So from me, Alex Employ, thanks for watching this video and cheerio.